Ramzy Baroud joins us from here in Istanbul. He's a senior research fellow at the Center for Islam and Global Affairs. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Ramzy, you've heard the president's comments there. Practically, what can Turkey do now?
What concern we have at this point? Is that the question?
No, practically, what can Turkey do now with regards to the Middle East plan?
Right. Well, Turkey can do plenty because Turkey is geopolitically is a powerful country in the region. If the Turkish government can use its status, political status in the region, its relations and its ties to Arab countries, but more importantly to other OIC Islamic countries as well, to use that kind of leverage and that kind of political power to ensure that Arabs and Muslims go beyond, statements like the one we've seen by the Arab League in Cairo, for example, which really, if anything, it highlighted the contradictions in Arab political behavior, to actually take it to a whole new level and say, we're not just going to reject, but we are going to show real support and solidarity with the Palestinian people and provide a counter strategy made of actual practical steps.
Ramzy, when you hear that from the Arab world, do you believe that from the Arab League, from Arab governments?
Frankly, I'm doubting the very position of the Palestinian Authority, not just the Arabs. I mean, the Arabs, for some Arab countries, the contradictions are so stark, unbelievable. I mean, on one hand, you actually participate, some of these countries participated and celebrated the deal of the century in Washington, D.C., and only 2, 3, 4 days later, you come back in Cairo and you condemn the deal of the century. If it's anything, we do not in any way believe in these kind of statements, and it's really, if it's anything, it's consistent with the Arab political approach, this kind of self-serving, trying to play both sides, normalizing with Israel on one hand while showing solidarity with the Palestinians via press releases and news statements. That doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't work anymore. We are talking about the second Balfour Declaration. Palestine, all of it is being given away to Israel. Okay. And if this is the Arab response, then we are in a real serious political crisis.
And I want to ask you about one of the Palestinian responses over the weekend, the Palestinian Authority cutting all ties with the US and Israel. Can it afford to do that?
It should be able to afford to do this. That's another contradiction that we see in the Palestinian Authority. On one hand, they are still saying that they are consistent with the Washington-led peace process, and the Washington, championed at one point two-state solutions and so forth and so on. Yet at the same time, they want to convince us that they want to operate outside the Washington-led paradigm. It makes no sense. It's either you challenge Washington truly and fully and wholeheartedly, regardless of the outcomes, or you don't. And they are trying to have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as they say. Their priority should actually focus on creating a unified Palestinian political front, bringing some sort of greater Palestinian democratic representation, and formulating a strong and clear Palestinian position, as opposed to this continuous endless threats that oftentimes doesn't go anywhere.
Ramzy Baroud, it's been a pleasure speaking to you here on TRT World. Hope to speak to you again soon. Thank you.